Hi everyone, and welcome back to Waterhouse Forde. So today we're going to be stripping the top cover and getting the master cylinder off and stripping all the parts down so we can get them ready for sandblasting. Then of course we have the bead blasting cabinet. Just as a quick reminder, or basically just to bring you up to speed, we've sprayed this with a degreaser, mostly just to get rid of most of the surface dirt. So we've got the master cylinder here. We've got the arm which works on. There's two things that move the arm. One is your hydraulic lever, your hydraulic quadrant, which sits on this side over here. We've got it upside down at the moment, obviously, and then also you've got an element of draft control coming from your top link as well. So that pushes this arm, and in this arm over here you have basically a T-piece which has a valve on the end of it that runs inside the hydraulic pump. And when we come to do the hydraulic pump, you'll see that. So basically, as this moves, it alters the pressure, or the amount of pressure that the pump is producing. The pressured oil comes up through the tube, which is in this in the transfer case over here, into this hole, through here and into the cylinder, and pushes the piston out in order to raise the arms. And of course, when the pressure comes back, then they will go back down again, typically under the weight of gravity, based on the implement that you've actually got attached. I've not done this a lot, so I'm going to be kind of learning it or remembering as I go. And of course, Oscar's here to help today as well. Okay, so I think the first thing is to try and just stabilize this. So we'll just put something under that arm. Make another one from. Thank you, Oscar. Just get that under there, and that hopefully make it reasonably stable. Cool. Right, the first thing we do is remove the spring. That's obviously straightforward.
Just unhook it.
Just unhook it.
Might be easiest.
Like that.
And then the arm can move without any spring.
Correct. So we'll put that down there. Right, the next thing is this arm is connected down the bottom here through pivot pins with split pins. So what we'll do, we need some long nose pliers. Okay, so those are both out.
Okay, so
now you push the pin out the back. So that's basically just a cotter pin with a hole in it for the split pin.
I'm just going to use a punch to get mine out.
Yeah. Okay, so that is now loose.
And there's a thingy at the bottom, so we can't quite get it out yet.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually
Alright, we'll just leave that there for now.
now.
Right, this one can come out. So, same story, squeeze those together. Okay, just try and lift that one first. Just grab the one and twist it. Hang on, you haven't got it. Okay, I've got it.
Okay.
Okay, and then that can come out.
Okay.
And that allows the push rod to come out. Okay. Right, we're going to have to turn this around now, because what we want to do is get this off and try and get this. See, unfortunately, that's quite corroded in there, so we might struggle, but we've got to try and get that off. If that doesn't work, what we'll have to do is take the piston off, the cylinder off, and that will allow the whole lot to come out. So we'll turn it around again and we'll get the cylinder off. So what we have to do is turn it over and take these nuts out from the bottom, yeah?
Oh yeah.
The 11/16 again, Banner.
Just put it away. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, where is it? I might have just put it away in the wrong place. Come on.
Okay, so there we go. So with the cylinder itself, probably can't see inside there, but there's a piston in there. We're going to pop that out in a minute with a bit of compressed air. But here you can see we've got two. So again, this is definitely, somebody's been in here. That's not a proper gasket on there. That's just some sort of sealant. And then here, this is a gasket, but you see the gasket, it allows the oil to come through here. So the oil comes in this pipe here, runs across. There's obviously a channel inside here. That's why you've got a hole over here, a blind nut. And then it comes in there, goes into the piston, or rather the cylinder there, and it pushes the piston up. Creates pressure behind it and pushes it up. So yeah, now we want to get this out.
Turn it out!
This is the bit that...
We could do with some compressed air or cleaning up.
No, that just needs cleaning up, but there's a... So there's a split bin there, you actually can't even see it, it's so full of dust, it's full of dirt. No, that's my clean brush.
Okay.
No, that's my clean brush.
Okay.
Now what we want to do is get these arms off. And that's quite a big job, or it could be a big job. We'll have to see whether we're lucky or not. Right. So we've got what we've got here. We've got these two bolts, and there's a locking plate, or a locking tab, which is basically holding those tight. So Oscar, in the top left is all the punches. Just give me a smallish punch, please. A medium-sized punch.
A smallish punch.
That'll do. Thank you. What we want to do is just flatten the plate. Right, and then hopefully these will come out.
I found the right size.
It's 11/16 though.
Oh.
Same. All these bolts are the same.
Okay.
It's one of the great things about Ferguson. He used very common or lots of the same size nuts and bolts, so that you only had to have a few spanners in order to work on his tractors. Okay, so that's those out. Now we'll give this plate a little tap and it should pop off.
Oh.
Okay, now what we've got here, give me that wire brush that you had, please. There we go. I'll just clean this up a bit. Okay, so hopefully now you can see what we've revealed. So you've got the spline, obviously a spline shaft, the spline corresponding splines on the arm, but you see here you've got what they call a master spline. So basically there's a tooth missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is the same on the other side. So these arms will always be lined up with each other, and it's also splined into this main. I don't know what you call this, but basically this shaft, which has essentially the lever on it, which the push rod pushes against. So what that means is the coordination between your arms and the position of that lever is set by that master tooth. So you can't get it wrong. The point is, when putting these back on, they only go back on one way, so you don't have to worry about how they are lined up before you take it off. So what I thought we'd do quickly is we need to get this piston out of the cylinder, and the best way to do that is basically to pressurize this with a bit of compressed air. Now, it is obviously dangerous because the piston can come flying out, and we need to be careful that it doesn't hit anybody or anything.
Can I do some?
Okay, hopefully you felt that or heard that coming. So there it is, right at the edge.
So now we're going to need to get it all the way out with the
So
bit.
now what I'm going to do is get 2 blocks, hopefully 2 the same size, in there. Okay, Oski, do you want to push the nozzle in there as hard as you can before you press? Take your finger off the trigger. Get the nozzle in nicely. And now very, very gently. That's it. Some more. Go on. And there we have it.
We were forcing it out.
Okay, maybe a bit more. 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 There we go.
Okay, that came out fast.
And that's why you need to do it very, very carefully. Okay, there you go. You can see that, I think you can see that pretty clearly now, going on here. And that's all the way around. Look at the damage on the back end of this piston as well. Not ideal. This has been hammered in some way. I'm not sure how, but somehow that's been quite seriously damaged. And that is all the way around. So I'm afraid this piston is probably due for replacement. Most likely the cylinder will be the same. I'm going to see if I can set up a light so we can have a look inside the cylinder as well, and we'll come back. Okay, so hopefully you can see that scoring. Where is it there? On the cylinder there. It's not focusing properly on that. Let me just see if I can. There you go. So you can see that, I mean, I've wiped in there and you can see the wipe marks as well, but obviously very, very clear scoring as well. So, okay, so that's going to require a little bit of remedial work. I need to find out whether that cylinder can just be honed. I need to do some research and try and find out about that. And that piston I need to find out as well, whether I can get a replacement. Obviously it'll need new rings anyway, but I'm hoping that by honing the cylinder with a set of new rings, new piston and a set of new rings, that it'll seal quite well. So but we'll look into that. Okay, one last thing that I'm doing here is just dismantling this, the main arm, the lever that runs down from the top to the bottom, and predominantly so I can remember how it goes back together, I wanted to capture this on camera. So there's two pins, one in here, one in here. You can see that one's still in there. I'm just about to take it out. Well, what I wanted to show was the way that this goes. So it sits obviously between there, but there's two cutouts here. We see that step down there, and that rides up against this, the back face of this, the top half, basically the curved part. So that can only go back one way. So we need to remember how that goes. Basically pull that pin out, and now those two halves are separated. But again, just so I remember how it goes back together, it's basically that way. Now on here you can see somebody's done some welding. So at some point that has obviously been damaged and repaired. It's a good repair, so I'm happy with that. But you know, this top half has got that similar corrosion as we saw in the rest of the top cover of the transmission case. So that's going to have to be sandblasted and painted properly to stop that. I also removed this. So this is the bit that goes through to the draft control. I just removed that pin there. That was quite seized. It was seized in this part. It was free in here, but kind of seized inside there. So the pin moved with this lever. Obviously, you want that to be free. So, but anyway, that's now out as well. And that's pretty much it. So from here, it's predominantly cleaning. Lots of cleaning now. We need to get all of this shot blasted or sandblasted, get all the rust away, get rid of all the rust, get it all nice and cleaned up. Oscar's doing a great job at the moment of cleaning up all the little parts that we've removed today with the ultrasonic cleaner, so he's having fun with that. Well, I'm going to move now to, well, I think that's probably it for this video. The next video we will dismantle the hydraulic pump and take a look at the condition of that. But I'm pretty certain that we're going to need to recondition that top to bottom. So I think that's obviously going to make quite an interesting video. So that'll be something to watch out for. But yeah, so that's it for today. Hope that you've enjoyed the progress that we've made so far. Still haven't managed to get the arms off, the lift arms off, but we're going to persevere with that. And I think probably what's going to be required there is a hydraulic press to get those out. So I either need to try and find somebody who has one or think of another plan. But for now, we're moving on, and next video will be the hydraulic pump. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you on the next one.